Hi, and welcome to SIGG'S on the Springford 8th Grade Center on Demand Network, where it's all academic all the time. Today's video is going to be really important, so we ask that you watch it in its entirety. We are slowly beginning the process of transitioning to the hybrid model. And therefore, today's video, we will discuss the building walkthrough for families so students can begin that acclimation to coming back to school as they enter our building for the first time. So with that being said, Dr. SIGG'S, how you doing, sir? It's been a while.
It has been a while, Mr. Parsi. It's nice to see you, and nice to see all of our families again.
It is. And it's rather exciting that we're going to have the students slowly start to matriculate into the building. And it's really great that we're offering this walkthrough to alleviate concerns so the students have an idea of where to go those first couple of days of school. And before we get into this, to those families that are exclusively cyber or virtual all week, you can disregard the rest of this video if you want. You can watch it if you want. But again, this video is geared more towards families whose children will be attending school in person twice a week. So that being said, Dr. SIGG'S, let's begin the process.
All right. If you wouldn't mind, Mr. Parsi, bringing up that the document. And this afternoon, our families received an email from our 8th grade center. And in that email, there were, this particular document was listed, okay? There was a link to the video, which you obviously have been able to access because you're watching it right now. And there was also information about students on how to sign out books from our media center, okay? So those were the three items that were in the email that you received this afternoon. What we want to specifically do is take some time and talk to you about the building walkthrough and just kind of lay it out for you so we can answer any questions that you may have in advance, okay? We do understand that kids are nervous, and everybody's nervous, I guess, for a whole host of reasons, but we always have walkthroughs for our students prior to the start of the first day of school so that they can kind of take a walk around and get a general sense of, how they're going to navigate themselves throughout the building from one class to the other, okay? So we've created an opportunity, actually two opportunities for families to be able to do that. All right, so those dates that students are going to be in, and we want to have a student and one parent come in with them, okay? We would like to see that happen. The two dates that they'll be able to do that would be Wednesday, November 4th and Wednesday, November 11th. The reason that we picked Wednesdays is because our students are not dealing with synchronous instruction with their assigned teachers, okay? Our teachers will be in the building. Our teachers do utilize that day for a whole host of important things, meetings and parent meetings and IEP meetings, and I'll be meeting with them throughout the course of the day Wednesday as we are continuing to prepare for student return. So, I mean, we're going to be here and we're going to be busy. But the students are not going to be with instruction, be engaged with teachers on Wednesday. So that for us seems like it would be a good time. We have, because of the fact we want to limit the number of people in the building at once, we have created a schedule, right? And we've tried to be fair about that schedule. And that schedule is based upon a student's homeroom. And so the building will be open on those 2 days for parents and students from 9 to 3, and you'll see how we've kind of altered that from one day to the next to kind of give some flexibility. If I couldn't be here in the morning, then okay, I can't make it on this day, I can make it in the afternoon on the second opportunity. So we tried to be fair with that, okay?
Plus, you're trying to maintain ratios and social distancing too, so there's a lot that goes into this.
Yeah, there is. We're doing our very best to try to make this a safe situation for people to come in. You're going to see there's probably about 4, 5, 6 homerooms at a clip. And so you'll have about an hour to walk the building, and then we're going to ask that you leave. You come in when you're assigned to come in, you walk around the building for an hour to make sure, your son or daughter knows where they're going. They feel okay. And I mean, they don't have to have their schedule down pat, believe me, because what will we be doing the first 2-3 weeks of this school year?
When the students are in, they're going to be getting acclimated to the building. We're going to be not only teaching, but also making sure everybody's safe, socially distant, and following the rules. Because, I mean, safety is paramount right now. So, there's going to be a lot of things going on. While we're excited to have the kids back, we got to try to maintain not only a sense of normalcy and high quality instruction, we got to maintain safety, and students need to follow the rules accordingly.
Right, and what we'll be doing as adults in the building when they first show up is we're going to be helping them out.
Yep.
Right. They're not. They should not know everything where
No.
they're going after being in the building for an hour or two. So
Yeah.
we're going to be out and about, directing, helping, assisting. Everybody's on the same team here as we get started. Okay.
Absolutely.
A couple other items that we want to make sure that you're aware of. I'm not going to read the letter to you. You certainly can read it. But there are a couple of things that we want to make sure that are happening. We want to have a student come in with one parent. We don't need the whole family coming in, right? And we don't need that. But a student and a parent take about an hour. Come in on your assigned time. You got to make sure both student and parent are wearing a mask when they come into the building, and they must attempt to follow all 6-foot social distancing guidelines. Okay. Students are going to be asked to bring a copy of their schedule. Okay, so they should be able to, on their phone or have a hard copy, bring that in with them that they can go ahead and walk around the building with.
And they can get that off of Skyward, Dr. SIGG'S, correct?
That is correct. What I would also suggest to parents, like I said before, our teachers are working during this time. So this is really not an opportunity to knock on the door and say, hey, Mr. Parcia, could you come out so I could talk to you? Okay, now I know parents are going to, and kids are going to want to look in, then they're going to want to see how rooms are set up, right? And just so parents know, the head custodian and I measured every desk or table in this school. It took a couple of weeks to do. Okay, so I can look everybody in the face and say, that's at least 6 foot away from somebody else. Okay, from where a child's sitting to the next child sitting is at least 6 feet away. Okay, and
I can vouch for that. There are tape marks on the floor and tape marks in here on tables on where students need to sit to maintain that distance. So yes, that is totally true. And, give a shout out to Mr. Doherty, done a lot of work to get this building ready to accommodate, this environment.
Right. So you're right. So the reason I'm telling you all that is I know people want to look and see what the rooms are, but what I'm going to ask you that you do is not really engage teachers during the time you're here. Okay. Yeah. We are going to have parent teacher conferences. They're going to be right around the corner. That's going to be a virtual opportunity for you to communicate. I know there's been an awful lot of parent teacher communication throughout the course of the first marking period already. So if you could on those days, just, stick to the plan here. They got their job to do. You guys are going to have your job to do to make sure we're navigating the building. Absolutely. One of the things that parents are always going to ask me is, well, where are my kids' lockers? Well, they're going to be outside of, around their homeroom. Okay. Our students are going to be assigned a locker. And I will tell you this, the answer to that question is yes, students will be assigned a locker. Our homeroom teachers understand how they should be attempting to spread those out as far apart as possible, right? But everybody will be assigned a locker. And then really it's up to parents to say, hey, look, I do not want my kid, I want to tell them, I don't want you using a school issued locker. And then the student abide by that. What we've seen right now with the students that have been in our building is that they're finding it difficult to carry around their book bags with 7 periods worth of materials. Okay. And we're also going to be in the wintertime where they may want to store their winter jacket if they, do that. So, to me, we're going to give it to you. We're going to assign it to you. Whether you choose to use it or not is really up to you. Students can carry their belongings around in a book bag or backpack this year. I don't have a problem with that. But I just want to make sure lockers will be assigned and students will know what that assignment is on the first day that they return into school. Okay. Another big question, Mr. Parcia, that parents always have is, when is my kid eating lunch, right? And so normally what we will do is we would put that, actually hand write that in their schedule for them when they would return to school. What we were able to do this year was have our technology department really help us out. And if you go into Skyward and it kind of gives you the steps right there, it'll walk you right through. Many of you have already accessed when your child will have lunch. Okay. So lunches now, we're going to follow our normal 4 lunch period schedule. What we did when we were virtual and everybody was at home, we all followed the same one. It just made things easier for everybody. But now we're in the building right now because of the fact we can't have everybody in the cafeteria at once right now. We're actually going to be using multiple cafeteria or, a main gym and a cafeteria to be able to accommodate everybody. So we have to have our 4 lunch periods. check out your child's schedule, follow the directions that are listed in the letter right here, and you'll be able to see when your kid's going to have their lunch. Their order of their class periods will stay the same. So when you're looking at your schedule, first period is still first period, second is second, third, the whole way down the line. It's just going to be a matter of where that lunch is going to be inserted in between second and third, third and fourth, fourth and fifth and sixth, how that plays out. Okay. All right. Our nurse is going to be here. And so what she'll be able to do is, if you have any medication, parents, that you want to hand deliver to the nurse so that she can, administer those to your child during the course of the school day, she's available for that. And if you have any other questions, she'll be able to take care of that for you. And then finally, we actually did this, I want to say maybe about a month ago, when we handed out math books and Spanish packets. We gave kids an opportunity to sign out some library books. And we had a number of students take advantage of that. And Mr. Greco, who's our librarian, sent out a series of directions, which are included in this email today. So if you are interested, or your child's interested in signing out some library books, you can go ahead and do that. He'll see that there has been a hold placed on that book. He will get that book and put a sticky note with your child's name on it and put it on the table out in front of the main office. So when you do the tour, you can pick up that book to take home with you, and it'll be officially signed out at that point. All right. Here.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And he's done a nice job with that. And the kids that, wanted to take advantage of our library have done so. And I think that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
We have the walkthrough schedule. So like I said, we're doing it on the 4th and the 11th. We're starting at 9 o'clock, 1 hour increments, and basically it's based upon homerooms. Now, what I will want to tell you is this. I don't know if you know this, because this happened kind of abruptly, Mr. Parcia, but Mrs. Hiles resigned. Okay,
yes.
You right? Okay, so that was a tough situation. So what we had to do is we had to kind of think fast here. And what we ended up doing was we took Mrs. Ryan, who was in our social studies, who will be going back to social studies once we find a permanent replacement for Mrs. Hiles. But Mrs. Ryan now is going to take over for Mrs. Hiles. So when you see Mrs. Ryan, you got to make sure you're looking at the homeroom. So she's now responsible for homeroom 313. And Mr. Cherrybon is going to be a substitute right now that's going to take over for the social studies, Mrs. Ryan's old social studies homeroom. His name is Mr. Cherrybon, and that's why you see that name there. Okay, so just look at the number. The number is what you need.
Follow the number, and again, lots of changes. Everything is fluid right now. Again, we're adapting, we're flexible. We're doing a great job making things happen and keeping things going. So it's really good.
All right, so what we want to do today was just focus briefly on the walkthrough, make sure everybody understands, here's what you need to bring, here's how it's going to go. If you want to pick up a library book or drop off medication, you can do that. Everybody asked questions about lockers and lunches and so forth. We gave you all that. It's simply information about a walkthrough to get acclimated with the school. Next week, Mr. Parcia, you and I are going to do another one. And that's when we're going to kind of get into some other, important ideas about, really what is this going to look like when kids come into the building and so forth. But you'll get a chance, parents, to see how rooms are set up, how the cafeteria is set up, how the gymnasium's set up. You're not going to be able to go in there, but you'll be able to look through the windows and see what's going on there. Okay?
All right. So ultimately, real quick with this schedule, I just want to show, if you notice the pattern on here, there are homerooms that are scheduled the morning of that first Wednesday, the 4th.
Yeah.
So I guess, Dr. Siggins, when you thought about this, to try to accommodate and be as flexible as possible, if you're scheduled for the morning on the first Wednesday, you're scheduled for the afternoon on the following Wednesday to allow, in case parents and families can't make it in the morning, we also offer an afternoon opportunity. So again, a lot of, planning was taken into consideration with this schedule. So, we hope you can come in here. Again, we are looking forward to having students come back into the building, and, this is great. And next week, like you said, Dr. Siggins, we will go a little more in depth on what the students can expect those first couple of days. And, we're excited. We're excited, and we're going to work through this. And, it's really good to know that things in this building are being planned really well, and things are going really smooth. So with that being said, is there anything else you want to add there, Dr. Siggins?
The only thing I would add, Mr. Parsi, is this. I mean, when you got to deal with schedules, then what ends up happening now is if I'm a parent, right, and I look at this and I can't make it on this day, we're okay. We're doing our best to try to help you out here. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're giving you multiple opportunities to come in, and guess what? If you can't make it in, we're going to help your kid out. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if a student comes in on November 4th and that's the only time they come in, guess what's going to happen? They're going to, in most cases, forget where they're going. Okay. And we're going to have to help them out as well, those first couple, weeks that they're in the building. So what I don't want to see happen, and I know, most people and parents that we've been working with, Mr. Parsi, have been so nice and so
Absolutely.
encouraging, and they understand how difficult this is that we're dealing with, and we understand how, you're a parent, I'm a parent, we see it from both sides, and we understand how difficult it is for everybody, so we're trying to work with everyone. And many people will understand what I'm doing right now. I can't have people calling in and basically flipping out on the secretaries, right? I mean, that's we don't need that right now.
That doesn't bring about any solutions. Every professional in this building, we all want things to work out well.
Yes.
So if we see your child nervous that first day, it's quite understandable, because last time I checked, they haven't been in a school building with a somewhat of a routine since March 12th.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be pretty rough that first couple days. So we will be flexible, and as teachers, we will help them through the hallways. We want it to start off well too, because we know how unique the situation is. And again, we want the students to understand we're under, a big challenge. We all need to adapt, but we all need to be resilient. But the only way we can do that for things to work smoothly, right? We want to make sure that, everybody's supporting each other. And our goal is to try to make this experience as seamless as possible, as comforting as possible. And we want to make sure we're maximizing the amount of learning, that we can give these students.
That is correct.
Yep. All right.
We're all set.
All right, and that'll be it. And you can expect another video with more specific details about those first couple days as we continue to transition to the hybrid model. All right, so with that being said, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you again next week. Thank you, Dr. Siggins, and everybody have a wonderful day.